information stored in your body and your brain. Let's make a nice link. In Being Energy, we are very interested in the total perception. That is a perception where brain and body are working in tandem. And lastly, also in our prefrontal cortex, I want you to connect to what we could say the self-awareness, the insight, the capacity to be aware of what is happening inside of your body, what is happening inside of your brain, to be aware of yourself. Okay, open your eyes. So here we went through a little anatomy in the feeling, right? So I think that if for anybody, even if you're not at all interested in health or medicine, just for in your own life, to have this simple awareness of these areas in your brain. But the one part that I want to highlight today, because we're looking at how can we rewire our brain and our mind for just to thrive. And the main pathway for us to be aware, because we can use it, is from the prefrontal cortex, how it can bear upon the limbic system and modulate the limbic system, all our emotional responses, and then down to the brainstem, so it regulates our basic functions coming from the prefrontal, and then all the body pathways that will respond to this processing. So the prefrontal gives us the capacity, through using these higher functions of perception and awareness, to modulate all the other ones in tandem. And let me show you here so you can have a visual, okay? From the middle prefrontal cortex to the limbic system, to your brainstem, and to all the organs of your body. So we have a lot of super exciting new research going on. And the new research tells us that the mind is actually using the brain to create itself. The brain is just an expression, a medium that the mind has available to manifest itself. There's a great study which we have mentioned in some other classes, self-directed biological transformation. It's called, pioneered by Deepak Chopra and a variety of different scientific university research institutions. And it's basically studying how we, through acts of conscious awareness, say meditation states, mindfulness states, inner silence states, we can actually change the expression of genes and how the brain is wiring and shaping itself. And this can happen fast and even instantly, okay? How we think, how we speak, how we act can be modulated, including biological expression of genes, not just a psychological event. It's imprinted in the biology, okay? Voluntary activity in your thoughts and images affects your genetic material expression and the function of your brain. So that's the key thing. We have a choice, we have a voice. We can voluntarily generate thoughts, language, and images, and that is going to actually modulate all the other cascade of events, including gene expression. And we can actually do it. It takes some practice, but it's absolutely at the reach of all of us, okay? Nowadays, there's no excuse for no, I can't do this. I'm a victim of, I just was born this way, or it's in my genes, or etc. All those things can be superseded by your own action. So how we think, and one sec, the thoughts and the language that we use in our thinking and the images that we formulate in our mind, both, they have a reach, they have a consequence. It doesn't just like freely disappear and we don't need to really pay much attention to them. They have physicality. That's what new science tells us, and we want to then jump on that knowledge and use it in a way that it will make us have a happier life and enhance perception as well. So the most exciting thing, one of the most exciting things in science today is the newly found understanding that, gee, the brain actually is not fixed. There's neuroplasticity, beautiful word. It means that we can reshape like a sculpture. Think of the brain as a mass of clay that you can sculpt it and you can reshape it. And it's reshaped and rewired by how we use it. It's very simple, actually, if you think of it. The way we use it reinforces a particular pathway, and then that causes the brain itself to change in its own function. Okay? So function dictates form. How we use it is how we shape it. And then how we use it, that's the question, right? Why we use it in a particular way comes a lot from our habits. So habit, the Nahual Caos Castaneda, our teacher, would say habit dictates function, function dictates form. But the habits can be reorganized, right, by a different usage. Habit is not nothing else but a particular action or thought that is just repeated. And the more it repeats, the more it reinforces a particular pathway in the brain, and the more it reinforces a particular function, and therefore reinforces a particular structure. So we tell the brain how to shape itself by how we function. And we can then bring our prefrontal cortex to have a say in the matter, right? We can command the use of language, and we can command the formulation of images so that they were not at the mercy of our habits. That's the beauty. And I really wanted to bring forth for you listening and taking this class so that you can reinforce that from the backup that the beautiful new science is allowing us to see and understand. Okay? So practice makes perfect. We have to practice something new, and then the practice itself changes the structure of the brain, and the function comes along. Any questions? This is a key concept that I really want to be a takeaway from today. If anybody has a question, you can absolutely go ahead, otherwise I'll continue. Okay, so I want us to do a practical experience of this, okay? Like I said, we can use awareness to shape our activity in our, for example, in our limbic system, okay? So there's pathways that go from the frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex, to the amygdala, to the limbic system in that center part of our brain, right? And the stronger the connection that we exercise in the direction from prefrontal to limbic, the more then we can have a say to modulate our reactivity and all how the feelings and emotions are kind of ruling and making us react. Okay, so one more time, please close your eyes, get comfortable in the chair. We're going to go back into our brain. Take 3 deep breaths again. One more time, soften your muscles. As you exhale, soften your jaw. Coming into the neurocircuitry of your prefrontal brain. And we are seeing it as a live circuitry where information and energy flows. And I want you to position yourself in the prefrontal cortex as if you were an observer sitting in a chair, located there, looking back and inside to the depth of your brain, to your limbic system. And you are seeing there all the emotions, all the feelings, all the sometimes chaos in there. And identify as the observer what are classic emotions and fears that exist in there, that have been reinforced over time, and so they have a stronger connection. Just watch yourself. Watch your negative inner dialogue in there. Watch it from the distance of your prefrontal cortex. Stay on the observer. Watch them in there. They live there. They are not you. All those fears, all that negative inner dialogue, it's just reinforced pathways. And then catch any one of them. Like I don't have enough time. I can never take care of things and finish things. I'm stupid. I'm too slow. Whatever that is. And I want you to send through the pathway from the prefrontal